Hi everyone, I'm glad you're here. Thank you very much for joining me today. Thank you to those of you that bought me cups of coffee. Boy, I definitely needed it today when I was looking into this CBDC. For those of you that do not know what CBDC stands for, it's Central Bank Digital Currency, and it's coming faster than what we want to admit or to accept. It is all part of the coming one world system. Yeah, many say it's the mark of the beast. This fellow here speculates that they'll create some kind of Western global banking crisis, possibly from hacker or a state-sponsored hacker group, maybe even blaming it on Russia. They'll shut all the banks down on Friday, announcing on Monday that on Tuesday they're going to issue either digital wallets or digital IDs to everybody. Kind of reminds me of what it says in the Bible, how a thief comes into your home at night. It's basically going to happen overnight whenever they decide to implement it. The Federal Reserve has a branch called the New York Innovation Center. Here's an article exploring the frontier of central banking technology. This was formed back in 2021. They did a study about future of money, financial market infrastructure, open finance, superiority and regional technology, cyber risk, and climate risk. The Federal Reserve did a test pilot program. They ran a test about the benefits, still working out the kinks of going to the digital dollar, how to work in cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. You might be already hanging up on me like the telemarketer did when they called me and I went into what I discovered about this coming cryptocurrency. But the blockchain technology is actually going to be used giving out tokens for loans for assets. Say you want a loan for $500,000. And you got different types of assets, maybe a car or a house. And what they're going to do is give out tokens for loans, which then the money that you are borrowing from the bank would go into your digital wallet. I'm not going for this. What I did was about a month ago, I bought one $5, what they call gold back. What it is laminated plastic with gold on top of it. Many states are accepting these gold backs. This is an image of one of the bills that you can buy. It has inlaid on top of it and the back 1/200th of a troy ounce of gold. I am definitely not one of these people that can actually buy gold, but I thought with the price of gold, it would probably be going up in the future. And I thought this would be a good investment. So I bought one. Now the government is the one that is pushing this, a cashless society. They say it will protect you against theft. It's more convenient to buy and sell without needing cash. And the cost of handling cash is mitigated. It also promotes financial inclusion, as the underbanked, meaning people who don't have bank accounts or have, maybe only a debit card, or the unbanked, people who don't have bank accounts at all, can still have access to financial services even if they don't have a bank account or have a local bank branch nearby. When it comes to digital banking, the elderly population are facing the most setbacks. Many still prefer to speak to someone at their local branch. Furthermore, a significant barrier to digital adoption resides with many elderly people who are not prepared or equipped to take on these new digital payment methods and banking. Many people aren't ready to say goodbye to cash just yet. I'm one of those. According to which, 427 branches have been closed so far in 2023, with another 220 planned for later this year. For 2024, there is already plans to shut down 42 more branches. Part of this digital banking a digital system is what's called an integrated unified commerce platform strategy. They say unified commerce aims to offer a seamless, efficient, and constant customer experience across all channels and touchpoints, including transactions made on mobile devices, in-store, and online. As the demand for frictionless commerce increases, adopting a unified commerce strategy can deliver on that front. They want all businesses to start doing this type of transaction. They're telling them to offer fast digital contact-free point-of-sale transactions wherever the customers are in the store, out in the warehouse or yard, because I was thinking about yard sales. So everyone's going to have a cell phone, and you're going to have to be set up where when you make a transaction, they want to buy your tomatoes or a 25-cent piece of clothing. You're going to have to use your cell phone. They're going to have to use their cell phone to transfer money from their account into your account, and the money would instantly show up. Or even at trade shows and pop-up stores. You think of these flea markets. This is how they're going to get rid of all money. Ensure you can provide quotes and take cash sales or charge to account orders anywhere, with the flexibility to handle complex split orders, sales, and returns. They now have just about everything that I can think of covered to go to the CBDC. Say you got your son or daughter or grandchild, whoever, comes to your home and says they need some cash. Well, all you got to do is tap your phone and the money is instantly transferred to their account. Now here's the part about lending. Say you want to get a loan from the bank. They believe that CBDC can increase overall lending. 1, bank deposit liquidity risk is low. The size and relative wealth of the previously unbanked population is large. And 3, the CBDC is valuable to households as means of payment or credit building. CBDC can still be optional for a household welfare, even when overall lending decreases. See that? Overall lending decreases as households benefit from the value of using CBDC for payments. CBDC provides an alternative safe saving vehicle, and CBDC generates greater surplus in lending by reducing credit risk information asymmetry. Most countries are considering a 2-tier CBDC model, where central banks issue CBDC to commercial banks, which in turn distribute them to consumers. If non-bank payment system providers can distribute CBDC, fewer funds will flow into deposit accounts from the unbanked because of a bank account is no longer needed to access CBDC. If CBDC data is shared within banks, those without bank accounts can still build credit and access lower interest rate loans. This design is optional for welfare if the gains from the greater access to the CBDC outweigh the contracting in lending. Just this year in March, it was noted that the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell testified before the House Financial Service Committee that introducing a CBDC is something we would certainly need congressional approval for. But the idea of digital currency isn't far-fetched. Americans are already using forms of it on a wide range of financial transactions, including paying their mortgages, says Aaron Klein, a senior fellow at the Brookings Institute, a think tank in Washington, D.C. Everyone uses digital currency to pay their mortgages, unless you are taking a briefcase full of cash to their bank every month. He wrote in an email, credit and debit cards, online banking, it is all digital money. Even if the U.S. establishes some form of government-backed digital currency, It would not automatically nullify mortgage loans, real estate experts say. Virtually all mortgage agreements have safeguards that protect lenders against radical changes and include layers of protection like personal guarantees that keep borrowers on the hook. Depending on the CBDC is designed and implemented, mortgage contracts may need to be updated to reflect the new currency option, according to a CEO at Insta Mortgage, a mortgage lender in San Jose, California. But again, that does not invalidate the contract itself or reduce the enforceability of the contract, he wrote in an email. I have another article that I posted, says UK bank branches are closing in record numbers, leaving the elderly, up the creek. UK bank branches are shutting down at an alarming rate. Banks taken these actions in response to the surge. A UK-based consumer advocacy organization has been keeping tabs on the number of bank closures since 2015. Its data includes that 5,600 branches have been shuttered since January of 2015, an average of 54 bank branches monthly. The bank that has had the most closures of all banking groups is Barclays, came in at 1,077 closed branches, according to which 427 branches have been closed so far in 2023, with another 220 planned for this year. And for 2024, there is already plans to shut down 42 more. Eventually, there's only going to be one bank, and that's going to be the World Bank. So if you don't have access to a bank, this is going to force the elderly to find some way to get help with their financial services. When they downgraded the U.S. To A++ from a A++, 3 pluses, Moody did not do that. But what they are going to be doing is downgrading banks, private banks. In my opinion, it's just a way to get these other banks to get on board with the centralized banking digital currency. Right now, only one credit card system is on board, and that's MasterCard. Visa is not on board with this digital currency, but they may change their mind later. So for right now, the new debit or credit card that you're going to get will probably be a MasterCard unless Visa gets on board. Evidently, too, over 400 million people currently use cryptocurrency. So many of these banks are including cryptocurrency and, like I said, the blockchain into this financial system of their one world government. Here's a different list of all the banks that are going to be giving out deposit tokens. We got Korea, Bank of England, Wells Fargo, HSBC, Credit Suisse. The list just goes on and on. So your assets can be what's called tokenized. It can be either real estate or land, commodities, oil, gas, your fruits and vegetables, arts and antiques, stocks and securities. So you got gold that you're stockpiling up on, currencies, and intellectual property. Now that really surprised me. I think about the Chinese that are always being accused of stealing intellectual property, learning how to make different things from ideas of others. And you can tokenize that and get money for that. So these are just some of the articles. I'll give you a link to it of the banks where you can, it's a loan. You can borrow money and get these tokens and then put it in your digital wallet. Like I said, I think they've worked out all the bugs. They figured out how to do it. Now it's just to figure out how they're going to convince people to implement it. What kind of fake crisis are they going to create? Not even your yard sale or the flea market is safe anymore. The only thing they have not figured out is bartering. Yeah, we can still barter. We're going to still be able to barter. And it talks about that in the Bible. It says you're not going to be able to buy or sell unless you take the mark of the beast. But it doesn't say anything about bartering. It's like, okay, I need some plumbing or electrical work. And I have X amount of chickens. I have X amount of eggs. I have a trade that I can do work for you, maybe help with some repairs on your cupboard or your car, etc. Yeah, there's nothing said about bartering. This is why learning different skills is so important, because you can trade off on those skills. Younger kids buy tokens to upgrade their animated characters that they, play with online in different games. Yeah, I didn't know about tokens. I didn't know about bank loans and how tokens are used for borrowing on your assets. Yeah, and they've been training these kids to use tokens, for several decades maybe? I haven't used Facebook in many, many years, but I'm sure there's games even on Facebook where you can buy tokens to upgrade your little farm or whatever it is that you're playing. Here it talks more about intellectual property. It says tokens can be programmed with smart contract functionality to automate royalty payments. You think about the music industry, the movie industry, books. It says here it allows financial institutions to streamline the management of intellectual property, reducing the transaction costs, and provide greater liquidity for intellectual property owners. Real estate. Banks can tokenize real estate assets to increase their liquidity as a digital asset and easier to buy, sell, or franchise. Yeah, think of all the different franchises, McDonald's and Wendy's and Burger King. This means banks can access new customers, including those who might not be able to afford a whole property. So you can just buy part of a property. You can be 5 people that are invested in one property, or don't want to take the risk of owning the entire property. And it goes on to art collections and token standards for financial institutions. These laws are already on the books. Yeah, Ethereum blockchain. Yeah, I did not know that. So say you own some gold, but you don't have the actual possession of it. Here it says financial institutions take tokens to represent real currency holdings by creating a digital token that are backed by physical currency held in reserve. These tokens are called stable coins, and one designed to maintain a stable value related to the currency they represent, such as the US dollar. Banks use tokenization to represent and trade stocks and securities on the blockchain by creating a digital tokens that represent ownership of their underlying assets. The tokens are typically backed by securities held in custody and can be redeemed for the underlying asset if desired. Think about all the, your retirement investments. You buy so much or are capable of buying from your paycheck every month, and then the company matches that. Commodities, I think about, wheat, food, different things like that. Yeah, I had no idea they were already doing this. It says your guide to asset tokenization. What enterprises you should know. So what are your thoughts? Put your comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Be prepared. Always be prepared. And I'll talk to you later. God bless you. Bye.